when I started speaking, when I got into the speaking world, I was roughly 21 years old. And the one thing I'm glad I understood or I learned early on was like, find the best and study them, right? If you want to condense time, find the best and model them, right? See what they're doing right, see what they're doing wrong, and just figure out the model from there. And so I attended my first Tony Robbins event when I was 21 years old. And we talk about this law of exposure, which states once you're exposed, you can never be unexposed. Once you see something, you can never unsee it, good and bad. And at that time, I got into speaking for money, in the sense of like, oh, I've seen people that kind of look like me who make money, and this could be a good career, and this would be great. And then I experienced and was exposed to mastery at the highest level, which that was Tony. And right, Tony's been speaking for 40 plus years. He started when he was 19. I think he's in his mid 60s. And so I watched someone go on stage for 13 hours straight, make the audience cry, laugh, angry, break through, have transformational experiences. And that's when I said, there's levels to this. There's levels to the game. And the second question was, what does he know that I don't, and how can I get the information? And so after I saw Tony, and I kept going to events and having my own breakthroughs, I started to learn NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I started to learn hypnosis. I started to learn timeline therapy, experiential therapy, human behavior, neuroscience. I started becoming a nerd on how to shift people and change their lives. And I had reached out, I'd met Tony, and then I'd reached out to his team. I was like, hey, if I can ever speak on stage, they're like, nah, that's not realistic. But God bless you, kid, and just so be it. And after 2 years of, hey, Nick just climbed a mountain. Hey, Nick just wrote a book. Hey, Nick, speak over here. I was top of mind. And they brought me in for a youth event where Tony wasn't there, but they brought me in for a youth event. I spoke for the youth event, and I knew that if I did well, someone would hear it. And so I did great with the kids, very great with kids, and they love the story, and I can relate to them. And then finally, 3 years in, after bugging them and being persistent,
Investment Club. Today, I consider it the best investment that I've ever made. We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs. Personally, I'm completely blown away by the quality of these projects, and I know of nowhere else where I would be given this same opportunity. Each week that passes, I feel more appreciative of the fact that I'm a member of this group. The vibe was just tremendous. Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical, magical. Take action. Don't take my word for it. Due diligence you need to do. And I really hope that someday down the road I see you in the club. It far exceeded expectations, without question.
They were like, hey, there's a spot on his main stage. You're the first in line. We want to try you out. And so I spoke in front of 10,000 people in Dallas, Texas. And after I did that, they were like, we want you everywhere. But that was a combination of persistence, and that was a combination of studying and figuring out how can I get the most out of the crowd and how can I impact these people in a short amount of time. I only had like 20 minutes. And so the rest was history. I did Miami Heat Arena, 15,000 people. I did Singapore. I did Australia. I did 50,000 people with him virtually in his studio. And I got to hang with the greatest of all time for 4 years. And so you probably learn a thing or two about communication and changing people's lives after 4 years of hanging with the GOAT. And that was the journey. And I'm super honored and grateful that I had that season with him.
It's crazy, man. I mean, 10,000 people for that first gig. I mean, that's a lot of people, man. And the other numbers you're talking about, I mean, I'm guessing that you get more used to it over time, but, and also 20 minutes, you got to make something happen and make a connection, but also be yourself. Otherwise, no one makes a connection.
Yeah. And that changed my life forever, because I believe communication got me to where I am, my communication skills. And I believe that every single man and every single woman, no matter what level they're at, can always improve their communication skills. And what I've realized is there's a lot of men with a lot of money who don't know how to communicate. And, I help those men privately with, like specialized communication training. But if we can create better communicators, we can change the world, because we lead from the front. And there's a lot of people with brilliant ideas and brilliant analogies and stories, but they just don't know how to package and position it. But also this, I've realized that when you're a communicator, you become more valuable in the marketplace. And we know it to be true. When you see us on podcasts, you immediately put us at a higher level because we're on stage. And so stages and communication and speaking in front of people, I think, has made me extremely valuable, and everybody can become more valuable through communication. But also, when you communicate, that's just the front end, but there's so much business that goes on the back end that you can do. You know, I mean, you and I are going to go on and build a relationship. Who knows what will happen? You saw me speak on stage, or I see you and speak on stage, and then there's a whole conversation that happens behind the stage. And so I believe stages is the #1 marketing tool in the world, whether it's virtual stage or in-person stage, and magic happens when you're a communicator on stage.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.